Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video. I'm in the middle of like 3 reading vlogs right now. But I had the idea for this one yesterday and I just couldn't stop thinking about it, so I definitely want to go ahead with it. So it is Monday the 24th of July and this week is my birthday week. My birthday is on Friday and I am gonna go see the Barbie movie with my mum for my birthday. I'm so excited because like everyone I know has already seen it, but me and mum always wanted to go on my birthday because Barbie meant a lot to both of us when I was growing up. I own hundreds of Barbies. They are at my mum's house at the moment, but yeah, it's really big to us, and so like I wanted to, you know, very much celebrate watching the Barbie movie with her. I'm going to be using the Barbie birthday kit from Squirrel Prince Co. It's just like all going to be perfect. I like found my Barbie top the other day when I was sorting through my clothes. Like it's just such a Barbie week. And I really wanted to, I'm in a real reading mood at the moment. I've got this week off work and I'm in desperate need of some rest. And what better way to rest than read? I have other things I could and should probably be reading, but it dawned on me yesterday. I could do a reading vlog where I just read pink books and I now can't think about anything else. So that's what I'm going to do. I have painted my nails for the occasion. I barely paint my nails. So the fact I've like bothered to paint my nails is pink. I don't own many pink outfits though. And we're actually having work done in our house. Well, fingers crossed, because the plumber was supposed to be coming today to do the first part of the work before we can have this wardrobe renovation done that we're having. And he didn't come. So he's apparently going to be here on Wednesday, but I'm feeling like a little bit on edge about that because we have like literally moved all of our stuff from 2 rooms upstairs into the conservatory. But anyway, a load of this, which you can't see, is like bags and bags of my clothes. Not that I own a lot of pink clothes anyway, I don't think, but I moved all my clothes away and packed them up before thinking about doing this vlog. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be wearing pink for the week. I may have to wear it on Wednesday though, because like Mean Girls on Wednesday we wear pink. But I think I maybe kept out one pink dress and then I have my Barbie top, which I'm going to wear on Friday. But yeah, I don't actually have a lot of pink. So that's really sad, but we will be reading pink things and that's going to have to do. So let me take you through my shelves to show you what pink things, what pink options of books I have. Because to be honest, I have really not thought about what I'm going to read. And when I came in here to start filming this vlog, I briefly had a look at my shelves and was like, I've read most of my pink books. Clearly that's the colour I'm attracted to. So yes, let me show you what's there and let's figure out what on earth I'm going to start this vlog with. These are my rainbow shelves and my pink ones span across my second to last and my bottom shelf. So I think like Loveless is definitely a purple, so we're not going to count that. One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston does have some pink on it, but I feel like this is majority purple. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure that that one counts really. So we're probably ultimately starting from By the Book. I could definitely read By the Book, although actually I think If the Shoe Fits is maybe the first one. Yeah, If the Shoe Fits is the first one. That would have been kind of perfect because yeah, basically those books are like fairy tale retellings. And sorry, what I should have done is like got my tripod because at the moment you're just having to watch me like wobble my phone around. Okay, that's gonna have to do. So yeah, unfortunately By the Book is the second in the series, so that's not gonna work. Kisses and Croissants I've read, which is a YA about a ballet school. Red, White and Royal Blue, one of my favourite books of last year. Such a good book. The film is coming out this year on Amazon, so excited. We do have Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey, which is the first in the series, and I do already own the second one, I'm pretty sure. That could definitely be an option, I think, because I loved It Happened One Summer and Hook, Line and Sinker. People don't like this one as much though, but it would maybe be good to see what people are talking about. Always and Forever at Glendale Hall. This is not the first in the series. This is like the 4th one or something. So that's not going to work. So on that shelf, we only really have one option. Let me move you to have a look at the second shelf. Okay, so we have This Time It's Real by Anna Liang. And this is a YA that I bought, which did sound so good. When 17-year-old Eliza Lynn's essay about meeting the love of her life goes viral, her life changes overnight. This could be fun. I don't know if it counts as pink, but like the spine's definitely pink, so it's going to look pink in the thumbnail. So that is definitely an option, I think. Red, Love on the Brain, Red Beach Read, Red You and Me on Vacation. We then also have When You Get the Chance by Emma Lord, which is a middle grade so it would be relatively quick for me to get through. And this is about Millie, who wants to become a Broadway star. And she... yeah, my brain's not going in with that one. That's definitely a possibility, but I don't think I want to start with that, but I may read that in the week. The Roommate I've read, You Have Me at Ola is... Oh no, this is the first book, because I have the second one as well, A Lot Like Adios, which I got from Yaug. And then I got this one because this is actually the first in the series. So this is a romance about, it's like soap opera and telenovela stars. Okay, well that's definitely an option as well. And then we also have, I've read The Bride Test. And then we also have Rosaline Palmer Takes the Cake by Alexis Hall. This is the first one in the series, and I own the second one, which is Paris Dalencourt Doesn't Bake, and that's the one I really want to read. So this could be a good option, and I absolutely love Alexis Hall's writing. He is such a funny author. He wrote The Boyfriend Material, which I've spoken about like a million times on this channel because I'm just obsessed with it. So that is definitely an option as well. Then we have Loads to Love You, which I've read, and My Mechanical Romance, which I have read. So I feel like these are probably the best 4 options, really, of the books that I have. But maybe I should get out When You Get the Chance as well, just so I have, like, all the pink books, like, there. I'm never going to be able to read all of these. Like, this is what we're now working with. I'm never going to be able to read all of those, but it might be good to just have them out so that I can then see what I think, although now my shelves look an absolute mess and I'm going to really regret having to put that back together. But those are the romance options I have. Let me take you to the rest of my shelves so you can see the other options, and then we can make a decision about what I'm going to start with. So here we have the books I have yet to haul. I've already read some of them. This is the second one in that Tessa Bailey series. Oh, why aren't we focusing? There we go. Yeah, this is the second one in the Secretly Yours series. But I also have Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. The second of these is out now. This is a very popular book. It is, I think, a fantasy. People really loved this, and it's very pink. It's very pink. So I feel like that could be a potential option. It's just whether I'm in the mood for a fantasy. And then over on these shelves, oh, we have the, sorry, you're mostly actually just looking at my alpacas. We have the Beauty and the Beast Belle's Tale manga. And I think this would work really well because I am seeing Beauty and the Beast on Thursday. So like that would probably be super cute to read. So, yeah, I mean, it's very pink generally. And I have this one and the Beast version. This one is like, you can never tell on camera, but it's like oddly blurry. I don't know why it's like that, but that could definitely be an option for this week. I feel like that would summarize the week well. Why are we struggling to focus today, camera? In terms of any other options, so this is my, well, to be honest, these shelves are kind of a mess, but I don't feel there's anything there really. And then this is like random fantasy. We do have Cursed Crowns, but I have, oh, sorry, not actually showing you. We do have Cursed Crowns, but I haven't read Twin Crowns. Okay, so let's go through those books and figure out what one I'm going to read. Okay, so this is the potential stack for the week. This one I'm going to read later in the week because I'm going to see Beauty and the Beast on Thursday. So like that works well. What do I want to start with? I might start with the YA, you know, This Time It's Real. I might start with this because this will be like an easy read. And I'm in a very good rhythm with reading right now, and I could do with a quick win to keep going. So I might start with This Time It's Real and then progress from there. I feel like everyone's going to be screaming to read HMRC. But I think I'm going to start with This Time It's Real. I'll let you know what I think of it. I'm so sad. I literally just damaged this book. I put my iPad down on it and the cover just like the front like just spiked up a bit. So sad. I mean, it's already a little bit, it's not the best quality. It's like, oh, those pages are like quite ripped. I don't know what I've done to this. But yeah, I'm very sad about that because I really don't like it when front covers of books are not perfect, so that's really sad. But anyway, I am just over 100 pages into This Time It's Real by Anna Liang, so I thought I would check in. It's the next day now. I read this like right up until I went to bed yesterday, so I thought I would just do my check-in today. So to give you a little bit more of an idea of the story, because I don't actually think I've spoken about the story of this one so far at all. So Eliza moves around schools a lot. Her mum is a very successful consultant, and her company moves her around country sort of every few years. So she's recently moved to China, which is where her family are ultimately from, but have spent time in other countries. And she goes to an international school there. She's really struggling to fit in. She doesn't have any friends. And one of the assignments that they're given to write is about sort of a person or like an interaction in their life, which is like the meaning of true love. It's something like that anyway. And she doesn't want to talk about anything really specific to her own life. She doesn't have many people in her life to speak about anyway. And the article that they write, or the journal that they write, will be published on their like school social media or the school's website. So she feels really uncomfortable about writing anything about her actual life, which is fair enough, particularly as nobody really knows her. So she makes up a fake boyfriend and writes an essay about basically her true love with this boyfriend. And it gets picked up by BuzzFeed and goes viral, and like 1 million people read it overnight. So she kind of rockets to fame. And the most important thing that happens to her, that a writing company that she really, really looks up to and really, really would love to write for, offers her a 6-month internship because of how much they love her writing. Ultimately, I think it's also because obviously her article went so viral, and so for them, they want to have the exclusive on like what happens to her relationship from here. So they reach out and offer this internship. This is, as far as she's concerned, this like once in a lifetime opportunity for her, and she really desperately wants to take up this internship. But how is she going to do that? Because she doesn't actually have this boyfriend. So how is she going to write more about, and because they particularly want pictures, I guess she could have made up more elements, but they particularly want pictures. And so she's like, well, I don't actually have this boyfriend. At a parent teacher conference, she has a run-in with a boy at her school. So bearing in mind, this is like a very expensive fee paying school. It's the type of students that are there. And one of the boys in her class is called Kaz, who is an actor, a very famous actor, I think. He's got like stuff on Netflix and stuff. And she is not particularly a fan of Kaz. He's incredibly attractive, very popular, and he's kind of everything she isn't. And I think she, in a way, almost has a sort of, she almost kind of doesn't like him because he's everything she isn't, in a way. So she has a run-in with him at a parent-teacher conference. They immediately are like clashing heads, you know. She's very much like, thank God I'll never need to speak to him again. And then she has this epiphany that she realizes that she could ask Kaz to be her boyfriend, her fake boyfriend, in order for her to be able to do this internship, because he's an actor and therefore it would, you know, he could definitely do it. And she also, when she's doing some research about him, finds that there's been some negative press about him where he like doesn't help an older colleague to a seat at a premiere, and he gets a lot of really, really bad backlash for this on social media, and a couple of brands drop him. So she feels like he has something to gain from this fake dating relationship. So the point that I'm at is they have just started fake dating, and they're just trying to navigate this, because Eliza has never had a boyfriend, never been kissed, never held hands with a boy. And so when Kaz is trying to publicly give displays of affection, she freaks out because it's just not something she is used to. So yeah, honestly, this is very cute. It's very fun. It's very witty. Eliza and Kaz are both really likable in their own ways, though I'm looking forward to getting to know Kaz a bit more, because at the moment you think Kaz is a little bit standoffish, and you know that there's reasons for that, but it will be good to get to know him a little bit more. Eliza she has quite like a deadpan sense of humor, which I think is really funny. I think this is really cute, especially for a YA. Like, I love this kind of YA, particularly fake dating YA is like so my kind of thing. And I just think the premise for this is like so funny. Like, what is it about me where I've just thrown this book on the floor? I want to destroy it even more. But yeah, I just think this is so cute, and I'm really interested to see where the rest of the story goes from here. I mean, we can probably take a guess, you know, fake dating romances be that way, but I'm really interested to see where it goes from here. And I'm just obsessed with this cover. Can we just say this is one of the prettiest covers that I own? I love it so much, which is why I'm so annoyed that I've destroyed it. So really interested to carry on with this, but I'm going to go to Tesco now and go and just buy something. Yesterday I didn't leave the house at all, and Stuart and I did wonder if that was partly why I felt so tired. Also, I think my body's just shutting down. I've had a very busy 6 weeks at work, and I think my body's just been like, cool, let's sleep now. And I really didn't sleep well last night, and so I'm worried that I'm gonna crash again this afternoon. So I'm just gonna walk to Tesco now, just like to get me out of the house. And then once I'm back, I'm then back in, and we've got no other plans for today. So I'm just gonna lie on the sofa. I will definitely finish this today. It was very easy to read the first 100 pages. So I'll definitely finish this out, and then hopefully be able to pick up another one as well. So I'll check in with you probably when I finish this one. I look so sleepy. So I have just finished This Time It's Real, and it's so cute. I do have to give a disclaimer here that I don't think this book will be for everybody that watches my videos, because you have to like a certain kind of YA in order to like this. Like, we have like 2 kissing scenes, and even those are like relatively low-key. A lot more of it is kind of like high school, does he like me, does he not like me. It's very much the kind of YA I like to read, but it's just, as a heads up, is like maybe slightly younger YA. If you like The Upside of Falling by Alex Light, this is so similar to that. That one's got a little bit more steam in it, but YA steam, completely different adult steam. But yeah, I think like these books are very similar, but this one I think could definitely be read by a slightly younger YA. Whenever I talk about YA romances on my channel, I always kind of will talk about that kind of thing, just because people that watch my channel will often recommend it for like kids in their lives and stuff. So this one, we've got like no mention of sex or anything like that, so I definitely think this could be read, to be honest, by anyone like 12 up. But yeah, I thought this was just so cute. So basically, after the first 100 pages, things kind of carry on with the fake dating romance. And then, as is typical in any fake dating romance, we obviously had to get to the point where real feelings develop, but also is the truth of the relationship going to come out. I do think that the ending of this is a little bit rushed. There is some unnecessary drama in that way that romances have in the last like few chapters that I just didn't need. I honestly, I thought something had happened. Well, I mean, this is a testament to the author's writing, but I thought something had happened. I was like, the author did not just go there. And I honestly was like, I will unhaul this book right now. If this is what's happened, I will never read this again. I will turn it into a 1-star. It's so dramatic. Because I just was like so heartbroken by what happened, but it's all good. Everything's fine. Oh, this is interesting. The quote on the front is by Meg Cabot. Yeah, I could see this if you liked Princess Diaries. Ending is rushed, and to be honest, there's no like comeuppance for what happens with the fake dating. Like, it just, yeah, that we're like building up to that the whole time, and then it's like not really addressed, and everything is wrapped up very neatly in a little bow at the end, in that way that YA romances often are. But I do think this one needed a few more chapters to really address some of the like moral aspects of what's happened in this story. But if you like overlook that, I think it's very cute, and like this is gonna honestly be up there in one of my favorite covers of all time. So I gave it 4 stars. Very good, very enjoyable. So now we have to figure out something else to read, and I think I've already decided what I'm gonna read next. I'll go get it. I've just snapped my playsuit. It's like just full on come off. Oh, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. It's like literally come unstitched, where I just like sat on it at the wrong angle. Okay, well, that's sad. So I'll try and film this a bit quicker and go change, I guess. But I've decided that I'm going to read Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. I'm still so in a romance mood. Where I'm like so tired, like I'm literally just lying on the sofa reading this with like ambience on in the background, and I'm just so tired, and like I just need like ultimate comfort. I don't want any books that are going to make me think too much, to be honest, which is my preferred reads. But I think I want to stick with the romance, and I love Tessa Bailey's writing. Well, I love It Happened One Summer and Hook, Line and Sinker, and so I just think that I would really love to read this. And I'm not going to read the blurb because I don't really remember what happens in this, so I want to go in kind of a little bit like fresh-faced. But I think it's Grumpy Sunshine, and I think she thinks he hates her, but he actually is like totally loves her, and she like puts flowers in his garden or something. Yeah, like a secret admirer. There's a letter involved somewhere. So yeah, I'm not going to reread the blurb. I'm just going to go into this and just read it blind, you know. But yeah, I guess I'm going to have to go change. I'm so sad about this. I'm going to have to throw it out now, right? I don't think my mom's going to be able to sew this. Like, if I have to have repairs for anything, I get my mom to do it. But is she going to be able to sew this back on? I don't know. I'm so sad. Hello. So we are going to stick you in the cupboard because my tripod is in the conservatory. I don't really want to go in there. So I am on page 133 of Secretly Yours. I hit like about page 100 while I was in the bath, and then I was like, oh, I could like stop reading here and do my like 100-page update. And then I was like, oh no, just one more chapter, and that chapter happened to be about like a 20-page chapter in like 3 parts. Like, that is literally, could that have been more typical, you know? Sorry, I'm just grabbing a plate from behind you. I'm also not as far through as I was hoping to be with this because I actually had a nap this afternoon. I was just feeling sleepy. So what do I think of this so far? Do you know what? I'm enjoying it. This has such low ratings on Goodreads. I'm trying not to read the reviews though before I finish the book because I want to make my own opinions on this one, but it's so low. It's like 3.32 is its average with 6,000 ratings, something like that. Like, it's very low. Probably might even be the lowest on my TBR right now. So I'm surprised because I'm not really sure why people are not liking it that much. So to give you a catch up on the story, so we have Hallie and what's his name? Is it Justin? How have I read 130 pages about him and I can't remember his name? Julian. You know, you read too much when. That's absolutely what's happening to me right now. So basically we have, Hallie and Julian, and Hallie is the real like sunshine personality, super lovely, friendly, but she has some, you know, troubled situations in her life. So her mum is a real kind of tearaway personality, and she has effectively been raised by her grandma, and her grandma's passed away recently, and she's really feeling lost. She's feeling like she doesn't really know kind of where her place is right now, but she's still trying to sort of fight and be this really bubbly personality. She's been in love with Julian since she was 14, and they almost kissed at a I don't know, some event in his vineyard, a party or something, and then they don't, basically because there's a 3-year age gap between them, and obviously when she's 14 that's a much bigger age gap difference than it is now that Hallie is 30. And she's been basically harboring this like really intense crush on him this whole time, as in she's completely infatuated with him in quite a weird way. I think she hasn't slept with anyone, but she's been kissed by 2 people. She's basically just, no man has ever been able to live up to this image of Julian that she has in her head, which is a little bit odd in that obviously she's only really known him in person as a 17-year-old because he moved away. She does follow him. He doesn't post much on social media because he's said that, but she follows what little there is about him. He's a history professor, so there are like lectures of his on YouTube and she watches those and stuff. So she does, basically she's just built up this like Julian in her head. And then Julian happens to move back to Napa, which is where they live. Basically, a guy that he works with has a mental breakdown, and Julian is rigid to an absolute T. His life is run by schedules. He rewards himself. So he says, like, if I stick on the schedule, I can have this. If this goes right, I can have this. And as a perfectionist, I so get that. And so he's come back to Napa because his colleague has had a mental breakdown, and he sort of realizes that actually he might have one of those. He's had some anxiety attacks in the past and thinks, okay, maybe that's going to happen to me. I need to make sure it doesn't, mostly because he's embarrassed about it happening. So he's taking a break, but in the break he is planning to write a novel, and he has this really strict writing schedule. And Hallie comes over. So Hallie is the gardener in this town, and Hallie comes over to do his garden, invited by his mum, and he doesn't really remember Hallie. He thinks he can kind of picture her, but doesn't remember who she is. But obviously she's completely infatuated with him, but all he can tell is that she like completely throws him off kilter. She is this chaotic personality, the absolute antithesis of him, and she is just like completely wrecking his orderly schedule. But he's completely infatuated with her. He's incredibly sexually attracted to her from the second that he meets her. He cannot get her out of his brain. He's so attracted to her sunshine personality. He wants to make her happy. He wants to see her smile. So he's basically as obsessed with her, but he does not remember where they've met. And at the 120 point mark, they still haven't talked about that. And I think what's kind of interesting here is like, Julian is then about to kind of let his feelings for Hallie like start to like, up until now he's been like no, not happening, but they've just had this heart to heart and he's like starting to let his guard down. He has started to be really open with Hallie and kind of try and like, you know, move things forward because he's completely obsessed with her. But she feels like she can't, because if he doesn't remember her, she doesn't feel that she is willing to actually have this relationship with him. So I'm gonna guess that what people don't like about it is there are, how do I describe it? There are like leaning sexist tendencies of, and that's acknowledged through the book. Like Julian acknowledges that the way that he feels about Hallie is kind of sexist and that he like wants to be her hero, he wants to protect her. And that is like what his sexual fantasies are about her. But he is like self-aware enough of that at least it's addressed. But there is a scene, basically Hallie is in a fight with a new like wine bar that's opened, and she goes in there to steal some cheese. It's a whole thing. And Julian kind of storms in there when he sees the manager shouting at her, and it's like goes into instant protective mode. And I guess people probably don't like that either. And to be fair, it does make Hallie come off as like kind of too weak to protect herself, but ultimately I think that probably is down to her upbringing. So I don't know, I think I can see why people didn't like it, but I think I probably feel the same about it as I did with It Happened One Summer, which is the first in a duology by Tessa Bailey that I read last year and I binge read and absolutely loved. I read both parts like back to back straight away. I think it's similar in that I shouldn't like it, but I do. Tessa Bailey is just a really good writer, even if I don't necessarily agree with the storylines that she's putting in. And I don't not agree with this one. I'm just kind of whatever to it, I would say. But I just love her writing. It's just so good. And her steamy scenes are like on another level. It's like real sexual tension. And that's such a big focus of the story. So like if you like steamy reads, I think Tessa Bailey is up there with Ali Hazelwood in my opinion. They write very different steam, but both are really good. So yeah, I don't know, what can I say? I'm just a sucker for this stuff. Like, so yeah, I'm interested to see what happens from here, because we're about to take a kind of slight turn in the story. And I think the other thing I like about Tessa Bailey's books is that they're a bit longer than a normal romance, although this one's a bit shorter I think than the Bellinger ones, but it's just under 400 pages. So it's a bit longer, and the nature of that is you get a lot of background for the characters. We have this whole backstory for Hallie, but also with Julian. We've been introduced to his sister, who I'm going to guess is the person that we're also following in the second book. She's just come back to Napa and we don't know why. There's also this like whole thing where he's like discovering his anxiety attacks, and you know me, I love a mental health rep, and how he's dealing with that, and Hallie's going to support him through that. He's going to support Hallie with going through the grief of her grandma passing away. Like there's these really rich stories, and that is exactly the same with the Bellinger Sisters series. Of you really knew all four of these characters, and that's what I really love about Tessa Bailey's writing, is that I just feel like these are characters where I do really know them, and I like want to see how they interact with each other, and I want to see what happens. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, you know. I'm just a sucker for Tessa Bailey. So I'll probably check in with you at the end of the book now, because realistically I'm like a third of the way through, and it tends to be that I just sort of plow through with it. So let me give you some idea of what's happening with my day tomorrow, just to give you some life updates as part of this vlog. So tomorrow is Wednesday. I've got therapy in the morning. We've had a little bit of a thing with therapy. So basically I had to cancel my appointment a couple of weeks ago with less than 24 hours notice, because I had to step in and cover for a colleague at work who was really poorly. And unfortunately the terms and conditions of my therapy, as I get it through Stuart's health insurance, was that I had to pay for the missed appointment, which has been very painful, as much as I understand it. And like it's not my therapist's fault and stuff, but it's been very painful. It took ages to take the payment. So I've had a couple of weeks off therapy, and then I'm pretty sure my therapist is off next week. So I don't really know how tomorrow's appointment's going to go, because I feel like last week was a really bad week for me, and I need to try and figure out a way to tell her that while I'm ultimately feeling a little bit more myself this week. So yeah, we have that to deal with tomorrow morning. And then the plumber, who was supposed to be coming on Monday to start the very first piece of work that needs to be done for our wardrobe, is supposedly coming tomorrow, but he cancelled Monday morning, so I'm not really holding my breath there. And then I'm going to see my mum in the evening. I'm excited for the end of this week. Tomorrow is my kind of last slightly more chilled day, because I have plans like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I have one more day off before I go back to work next week. So like it's going to be so busy from Thursday that I've had such lazy days the last 2 days, but it was just so needed. But I'm also getting the like itchy feeling I get when I need to like advance film content, and I feel like I need to like gather my thoughts on that, but it's like hard. I can't really do that at 10 o'clock at night, but I feel like my brain is like buzzing, which is very unhelpful when sleep is what it's supposed to be doing. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know whether I should do like a little bit of brainstorming to just try and get it out of my head, potentially, because like I did not sleep well last night and I did nap earlier today, and that might mean that that has an impact on like my ability to sleep. I'm really enjoying like the amount that I've read this week. It's a little bit, there is a little bit of a blur between the books, but yeah. Oh, another exciting thing that's happened is I got approved for an arc today that I really want, which the book comes out earlier than I was expecting. It comes out in the middle of August, and so I have a vlog idea for that vlog, and I actually need to read 2 books before I read that arc. So I'm gonna need to start yet another vlog, but I think I'm gonna like not do it until I finish this Barbie vlog, well, like pink reading vlog. Once I finish this one out, I'll then do that one. But I think that's also part of what's like making my brain tick, because there's like 4 vlogs that are all crossing over each other, or 3 vlogs, whatever. My brain is just like, oh, there's a lot happening. And also it's trying to keep track of like when all these books come out, making sure I like post the stuff that's needed for them. So I need to, in an ideal world, do my Laurel Denise plan with me tomorrow. It would just help me with like trying to gather some of these thoughts, but I don't know if I'm gonna have time, especially if the plumber comes. So we'll see. Anyway, but I will let you go, and then I will check in with you when I finish this, which will hopefully be tomorrow, but that might be optimistic, but we'll see. Hello vlog, just a little update for you. So it's Wednesday. On Wednesdays we wear pink. So I have not read anything so far today. So I got up and did some voiceovers for some plan with me's. Then I had therapy, which went better than I was expecting. Actually, it was really good that I had it. Then the plumber was here. The plumber came to start work on the cupboard. So he's done what he needs to do now. So now we're just waiting for the builder. So we'll see when he's going to come, hopefully within the next couple of weeks will be great, so that we can put our lives back together and start progress on this wardrobe. So yeah, so the plumber was here until about 11, and then I was editing a video which is not even going to go live until the end of August now. I also then after lunch filmed my Laurel Denise July plan with me, and so that will be up on the channel I think before this now. And it was like very complicated to figure out my content, because I've just been filming a load of stuff without thinking about when it's going to go live, and then trying to stagger it out was actually quite complicated. So yeah, also I did that. I've also been chatting to Anna about some stuff today, and so time has just got away from me. I've then just filmed a video which is my magical readathon TBR, and now it is 4 and I need to leave here at just before 5. So I have not read anything, which is a real shame because I'm really enjoying the book. But yeah, unfortunately I haven't read any more. So in terms of what's going to kind of happen from here, so I'm not going to get anything more read today, and then tomorrow I'm going into London because it's like my pre-birthday celebrations with my parents and Stuart, because on Friday we're heading to Bristol for like the first, well, to see my cousin for her hen do. So and that's my actual birthday, so we're sort of celebrating my birthday on Thursday, apart from seeing Barbie on Friday. So we are going into London and we are going to watch Beauty and the Beast, my favourite movie, at the BFI, because they're doing like a Disney 100 series this month, which is just going to be so good. I'm so excited. I haven't seen Beauty and the Beast on the big screen, like the original cartoon, not the new trash. The original, I don't know if I've ever seen it on the big screen. So I'm really excited to see that. And then we are going to go for afternoon tea at the Globe, and it is Midsummer Night's Dream themed. I was looking for somewhere for us to go for food, and then I realised the Globe is like a 20-minute walk from the BFI, and I was like, Mom, do you want to go for afternoon tea at the Globe? So I'm really excited about that as well. Then I will be heading home, and then Stuart's going to games, so I will have the evening free, so I should be able to do some reading tomorrow evening, but I also ideally probably need to straighten my hair. So yeah, I will hopefully get a bit of reading done, but the plan is that because we're not going to be meeting until like 2ish is when the film is, I wanted to do a bit of like a treat myself day. You know, I've been going through a bit of a rough time at the moment, and whilst I know that that shouldn't then mean you go into treat yourself mode, I just wanted to do a kind of day that was just for me and sort of having a bit of like, I don't know, independent self-care. So I want to go and get a smoothie, and the ones I like are pink, so like it works with the vlog. And then I want to go graphic novel shopping. Basically, I found a shop that I've never been to in London, which I think just sells graphic novels and mangas, so I really want to go there. Then I also want to go to Forbidden Planet because they have a really good manga section in particular. And then I also will probably pop into Waterstones as well in Piccadilly Circus. So I'm like, I want to do all of these things and just have a really like bookish day, and I will take you along for the ride and do a bit of vlogging of that. So I will be reading, but I will probably mostly be listening to audio. And I don't know if I have a pink audiobook that I can listen to, but I will have a look and see if I can find one, because I mean, I don't have any credits left, so it would have to be one that's in my library right now. I'm pretty sure I have Pride and Prejudice with a pink cover, but I'm not feeling that. So we'll have to see whether I have a pink audiobook. If not, I'll just listen to something else. But I also have the Beauty and the Beast manga that we picked out at the beginning of the vlog. I will probably take that with me and just read that. I would like to sort of go and like sit somewhere, like sit in a library and sort of have a little bit of chill reading time, or sit in a coffee shop or something. And so I'll probably take the manga and read that, and then at least that's like another book ticked off. And also it's the Beauty and the Beast book, and I'm going to see Beauty and the Beast, so I feel it'd be cute. I will not be wearing pink tomorrow. I'm going to be Beauty and the Beast Disney bounding. So I have this like really cute blue glittery bow, which I will be wearing because I always wear that when I'm like dressing up for Beauty and the Beast. And then I'll be probably wearing like a white crop top and then a blue dress. And I know I should be wearing pink because it's the pink vlog, but also it's the Beauty and the Beast vlog, you know. So that's why I've gone full pink today. So that is the plan. I am sick of my eyeliner. How long's it been that way? I don't know. I'm really struggling with eyeliner at the moment. Every single eyeliner that I wear smudges. And I asked for some recommendations on Instagram, and people very kindly gave me a few, and that because there wasn't, you know, one consensus for a perfect liquid eyeliner, I ended up plumping for one, and unfortunately it smudges as badly as all my others. Like, look, all I've done there is blink and it's smudging. And the issue with these pens compared to the eyeliner, so I used to use the Rimmel eyeliner and I found it much easier to put it on in a slightly thinner line. This one is a very different type of tip. It's more like a felt tip, and I find it much harder to do a thinner line. Not that I think this line is excessively big, but I appreciate you can very much see I'm wearing eyeliner. And it's just, I think it's something to do with where I'm so tired and my lids are like hanging down so much that it just smudges like all the time. And it's so embarrassing to be like constantly out and have like smudged makeup. It's very distressing. So I'm gonna have to try a different one again, I think, because this one has not been working for me. But anyway, that is my check-in for now. And then there will probably be a ton of B-roll to come now. And then I'll probably check in with you again tomorrow evening before I head to my cousin's Hendy and to Barbie. Hi, apologies if you can hear the bath running. It's just how I roll in this house. It's all multitasking. But I'm back from London and really need some chill out time. I'm not going to go into it because it's not my place to go into it, but yesterday something happened that was just a lot, and I am very tired. I didn't go to bed until 3, so I barely slept. and I still woke up when Stuart went in the shower. So I was like, right, I'm still going to go ahead with my self-care day in London because, well, my kind of self-care morning for myself. Yesterday was just, it was just bad. So I was like, I want to go ahead and still like do some stuff for me. So, and I thought if I stay here, I like tried to go back to sleep for a few minutes, and I was like, realistically, I'm not going to go back to sleep. So I'll just get up. I managed to get ready. I did a little Belle Disney bound with this outfit, and I have my Belle bow as well, which I didn't wear like all day round. I just wear it like just while I was in the film, because I was like, I don't want to wear it the whole day. It's just probably kind of embarrassing. But yeah, so I had my little Belle Disney band, and I was like, right, I'll get ready. And then I went into London, and I've included B-roll, basically what I did. But I went and got a smoothie, had some breakfast. Then I went to Forbidden Planet first, and then I went to Gosh Comics. So Forbidden Planet I've been to a few times, and basically it's a 2-floor shop. The top floor is smaller, and it has figurines, pop figures, t-shirts, kind of, I can't think of the word, memorabilia, but that's not the word I mean, but merchandise. And then downstairs is all books, graphic novels, manga, and the downstairs is a lot bigger, and it's amazing. They have such a good collection. They have a really good graphic novel section now. I think they've expanded it a bit. Manga is like a whole half, but I was in there for longer than I anticipated, picked up quite a lot. Well, I think I picked up 4 graphic novels from there, but I spent ages picking the ones that I was going to go for. And then I thought, I've never been to Gosh Comics. It's a short walk from here. I really want to go. It's like a 10-minute walk from Forbidden Planet. So if you are ever going to Forbidden Planet in London, you could definitely go to Gosh Comics and do both of them. And Gosh Comics only sell graphic novels, manga, and comics. The whole of the top floor is graphic novels, and then downstairs they have a wall of like superhero graphic novels. Then they have a wall of comics and baskets of comics in the middle, and then one wall of manga. So a lot less manga. I don't think I would really recommend it for manga. If you want manga, go to Forbidden Planet. Like a whole half of the bottom floor of the shop is manga. I didn't even look at the manga in Forbidden Planet because I read more graphic novels than I do manga, and I find manga so overwhelming. There's so many more in a series. I have to think a lot more about the ones I want to buy. So I focused my shopping efforts on graphic novels today. But they had so many graphic novels in Gosh Comics. It's a lot smaller, but because it's all it sells, they just had such a good range. So I picked up so many that I am like so excited to have. So I'll do like a mini haul, but I'm not going to go through specifically what they like are all about or anything like that. I'll do a book haul coming soon, I think, because now I've got these, a book haul needs to happen because I do already have a stack of books to be hauled. But the first one that I picked up is Girl Taking Over, which is a Lois Lane story. So this is a DC one. The art in this looks really fun. It's very 70s, really flower power. So very excited about that one. I also picked up Zatanna, the Jewel of Gravesend. This is also a DC comic. I'm really in my DC era right now. And again, the art in this one, I mean, I'm going to say this about all of them, but the art is so beautiful in all of them. But it's really kind of like dark and moody in this one. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of like an older one. So yeah, excited about that. Then I found Northanger. I'm so excited about this. How to Train Your Gavin was talking about how much he liked this, but I didn't think it was out yet. So I'm so happy because this was on my TBR. So the fact I have it is great. And the artwork is all like browns. So it really reminds me of Bloom, which is a graphic novel I've spoken a lot about that's very turquoise. But the whole of the colour scheme of this is white, black and brown. So very excited to have that. I bought the second in the revamp of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer graphic novel series because I'm getting the first one for my brother for my birthday. And they had many of them there, but I thought I'll just get the second one just in case I like feel I need to binge straight away. Then I also picked up D&D Dungeon Club Roll Call. This is I think like a middle grade D&D graphic novel. Looks very cute. The cover is really slides off though, which is so irritating. And I thought I would just take it off, but I really don't like the underneath. So I'm very sad about that. I do not like slip covers. I'm just not interested. Like, how fun is that pattern? So yeah, I'm trying to get into D&D. And I felt like this would be a good introduction for me because it's like a middle grade. Then I got another one that was on my TBR, and I actually put this back in Forbidden Planet the last time I was in there and then decided to get it this time, which is Himawari House. This is about some families like moving to Japan and having to deal with going to like a Japanese language school and not speaking the language and stuff. So I kind of like the idea of that. I read a few books that I feel like are in the same sort of vein as that. I picked up a brand new one, which is huge. This is Space Boy. And the art of this gives me such the Jetsons vibes. If you ever watched the Jetsons, very old cartoon, but it really gives me Jetsons vibes. And this is the first 3 in an omnibus. That's why it's so big. So I hope I like it. I would have preferred to have just got like 1, 2, and 3 separately, but they didn't have it. And I was like, I'm just gonna get it, even though it's like really heavy. And you can tell on the spine it's 1, 2, and 3. So I think that like that will still work well. I got Blessed, which I've not heard of, but the art in this is so cute. I love it. And I think this one is about somebody who, like, on a dating app, she swipes and ends up with like all the pantheon of gods and goddesses are all fighting for her attention. Sounds fascinating. And then the last one I got is Belle of the Ball. Again, I've not heard of this one, but it is an 01, like first second, which is the same company that do Check Please, so I figure they probably make stuff that I like. And the artwork is all pink. How perfect is it for Pink Week? Yeah, Stuart keeps being like, you have to read it, it's so pink. I'm like, I know, but the thing is, well, let me finish my day and then we'll go into my reading because it all kind of ties in. So after I went to those 2 shops, I didn't have time to also go to Waterstones, and I was going to go to the Disney store, and I don't know how I thought I was going to fit it all in. So I then went and met Stuart. We had a burrito from the Oaxaca Street area. We then went and sat in the BFI for a little bit. Then we went to see Beauty and the Beast with my parents, which was just amazing. I don't think I've ever seen the original Beauty and the Beast on the big screen, and it's my favourite movie of all time. I was so emotional throughout it. It's just, I have such fond memories. Like, for my 3rd birthday, I got a Belle doll, and the video of me opening her is so cute. And my mum hand-made me a Belle dress, and she hand-painted me a Belle cake, and it's just, I don't know, this film is so special to me, so to be able to see it on the big screen was just like amazing. And then we went for afternoon tea at the Globe, and it was Midsummer Night's Dream themed. It was so amazing. They're shutting it soon though, so I don't think this vlog will go up in time for people to go, but the next theme will be Macbeth. But yeah, it was really cool, like very fancy, and to be honest, for London prices, wasn't really crazily overly priced. And then yeah, I've just got back, so I'm feeling kind of gross. It was really hot in the restaurant at the Globe. That's the only downside. It was really warm, so I'm excited to just have a bath and do a bit more reading. So to give you a bit of a reading update, so I took 2 books with me today to London. So the first one that I took was Belle's Tale, the Beauty and the Beast manga. So as I said, I was going to read this today because I've seen Beauty and the Beast and the front cover is pink. I have only rated this 2 stars. And I think, to be honest, that's being generous. The only reason for that is, as I have mentioned before, and it just doesn't show up well on camera, so there's no point me keeping showing it, but the art of this graphic novel is so blurred, and it makes it such an unenjoyable reading experience, because anytime it stops on the art, you are missing all the details. So you can't, like, I love just sitting there and staring at graphic novel or manga pages, but ideally with no speaking. Like, I just like to look at the art on like the odd set piece. I'm not saying the whole book like that, but you can't, they put writing on the set pieces in this, which is just annoying. Everyone knows the story. But also, I just feel like the blurry nature of it means you just cannot enjoy it. Like, the scene when Belle comes down the stairs in her yellow dress, you cannot enjoy that because the art, I mean, I just don't enjoy this as a set piece anyway. But you can't enjoy it because it's so blurry. And I find that so frustrating, especially as I paid £19 for this. And so it's like, I will unhaul this now because I will never reread it again because the quality is so bad. But then also I would like to sell it, but I would never feel I could sell it for £19, you know? Anyway, so that's really frustrating. And also, I'm just not sure this story is well served in manga form. So obviously it's relatively short. Mangas often are. Graphic novels are longer, and I think this would have been served better as a graphic novel. It also was covering the new film, the Emma Watson one, rather than the original. So it's covering more story because they invented extra story for that one. So that's also problematic in a small manga. Also, this is only Belle's version. You don't get the Beast version. So I actually own the Beast version, and I think that's going to be better, and it doesn't have the same art problems. So I'm looking forward to reading that one because, to be honest, I just think it'll be more interesting. But yeah, I just think, like, the story, particularly the middle section when Belle and the Beast fall in love, they have none of the, like, the song, there's something there that wasn't there before. You don't have that. So they deal with it in like 2 panels. So you're kind of like, oh, they're in love now. Like, it just, the pacing of it doesn't work. So yeah, I didn't enjoy this, unfortunately. But it's done now, it's read. It'll be unhauled, you know. That's not a bad thing. It's just annoying. And then I also took Secretly Yours with me, which was a big book to carry around all day. But I have now made it to page 257. We got to our station just as we're like literally in the middle of a sex scene here. So poor timing. Yeah, not like not on the end of a chapter or anything. But yeah, so I am over 2/3 of the way through, or 2/3 of the way through. In an ideal world, I would finish this evening, because tomorrow we are heading to Bristol for my cousin's hen do. Well, my cousin's hen do is on Saturday, but we're heading there tomorrow because it's so far for us to get there. Plus there's train strikes on Saturday. And as it's my birthday, obviously me and Mum are going to go see Barbie. This is too heavy a book for me to take. We're going to have other stuff. I also need an outfit change for tomorrow because I need to take my Barbie outfit. So I don't really want to be lugging a book that I will finish on the train to then have to bring another book. I would rather just bring, Stuart's lending me his old Kindle, I'd rather just bring that and read pink books on there. So in an ideal world, I'll finish this today, but I feel like because of that, I'm rushing it, and I don't want to rush it either. So that's why I'm running a bath now, to just see how far I can get, because if I'm concentrated reading, I might be able to finish it. I also think I would like to straighten my hair for the hen do. Like, obviously my hair is very naturally curly. But if I'm going out with people I don't really know, I feel a bit embarrassed about my hair sometimes, which I hate, but you grow up being bullied for your hair and it's ingrained. So I think I would like to straighten my hair, which is another thing. And then also I have birthday presents, very blessed, from Stuart and from my parents. And I'm barely going to see Stuart tomorrow. So he's like, oh, we either need to open them tomorrow morning or today when he gets back, because he's with his friends. And it's like, I'm not sure there's really time for either of those. It's either sacrificing sleep somewhere. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to go and have my bath now. I'm going to go and carry on reading this. I don't really want to say how I'm feeling about this book right now, because I don't actually know. Like, I am enjoying it, but there is the kind of slightly, like, I guess sexist nature of like how Julian feels about Hallie. I assume that's what people don't like about this. I don't hate it, but I also wouldn't say I love it. Sex scenes are obviously well written, but they are in true kind of Tessa Bailey style, are like really, like, a lot of it's dirty talk and stuff. And so if you don't like that, don't read these. Like, that's how she writes them. But like, I think it's quite similar to It Happened One Summer in a way. And I did really enjoy that. So yeah, we'll see. I have no idea what I'm going to rate this right now, which is really weird for me, 2/3 of a book in, to not really know how I'm going to rate something. And part of that is because I know the reviews are not good, and I hate that that's how I feel about it. So yeah, I'm going to go finish this off, and then I'll try and give you a more coherent wrap up of this book at some point. Hi, it's Monday now. I haven't checked in with this vlog in a few days, so I think the last thing that I did was wrap up on Thursday. So I'll briefly catch you up on what I've done the last few days, and we'll talk about what I read. So on Friday, it was my birthday, and we went to Bristol to see my cousin and meet her daughter, super cute. And then me and Mum went to see Barbie. I loved Barbie. I honestly thought it was so good. I just had like the best time watching it. I am a massive fan of Barbie, so I was probably always going to like it. I like kids Barbie movies as well, but this is definitely not a kids Barbie movie, it's an adult Barbie movie, but I just think it's excellent. And during America, if you've seen it, during America Ferrera's speech, somebody was applauding this, my mum. It was so funny. So yeah, I absolutely loved it. Couldn't recommend it enough. If you want my opinion on whether or not you should go, you should absolutely go. I think everyone should see this movie. Then on Saturday, it was my cousin's hen do. So we went on like a cruise around Bristol, which was called a booze cruise, but that made it sound much scarier than it actually was for those of us that don't drink. It was actually like a very tame, nice, experience. And then we went to the Cozy Club for some drinks. Then we went for dinner. And then my mum and I kind of left the girls to it because they were going clubbing at that point. So they were like going to cocktail making classes and clubbing and stuff. So we kind of left them to it and we went back to the hotel and I read my book. And then on Sunday, so we were actually supposed to go home on Saturday originally, but because of train strikes, there were no trains running. So we went early on Sunday. So we were planning to get the 9 o'clock from Bristol. And trains. So the train did turn up, but it was only 5 coaches instead of 9, and we ended up standing at like the wrong point of the train where we were standing near a first class part, and everyone was just like out for themselves, even though we'd been waiting for like 40 minutes for this train, barging in front of us. So mum and I nearly didn't get on the train. I had to like shout at people to move down, and then my mum was saying they were tutting at me, and I was like, for what? Like, they're just like, anyway, but it worked out for us. Karma was in the air. We were standing in the vestibule, and my mum said to the train manager, are you declassifying first class given that it's so busy? He was like, yeah, probably, but give me a sec, let me just check. He walks along, he gives us the thumbs up, and we managed to sit in first class. And Great Western Railway first class is like super luxurious. We had this huge table, loads of space. Mum got like some free tea and stuff. It was all very nice. So I feel sorry for everybody else on that journey? A little bit, but you know, karma, she was there. Then after that, Stuart and I went for lunch, and we went to a prezzo where the service was just a little bit questionable, which was such a shame because I really like, they have this particular dish at prezzo which is so good. It's like a pesto pasta with chicken, like it's so nice. But the service was just really poor. Like, we waited like 15 minutes to get served. Then when we got served, we got our drinks and our food relatively quickly, but then it took 20 minutes for anybody to come clear our table. And we were like, can we just have the bill? We waited 20 minutes again and nobody bought the bill. So finally I like managed to kind of wave the manager down, and because we didn't want to like make a fuss because this girl had said she was going to go get our bill. So yeah, he was like so apologetic. He was like, let me see what I can do. Went away, came back, and he comped all our food. We only paid for drinks, which was like very extreme given that the food was lovely. But I was like, oh no, like we cannot just pay for drinks. He was like, the only service you've had that was worthy of your money today was drinks. I want you to come back. And like, he had read it correctly. Like, I was being very polite, but he had read it correctly that I was saying to Stuart I wasn't sure that we could go back there because we've had another experience there where the service was a bit slow as well. So yeah, that has significantly improved things. And then we came back, rested for a bit, and then we went to the St. Albans Comedy Garden, which is entirely outdoors, and you would expect that at the end of July it would be really warm, but I'm telling you, it was not really warm. It was absolutely chucking it down with rain. So they had 4 comedians. So Rosie Jones was one. I've seen her do this set before, so I obviously didn't find that very funny because I've seen her do it before. There was another comedian who I didn't know, but he was very funny. But the reason that we went was for Brett Goldstein, who's Roy Kent from Ted Lasso. It was so cool to see him in person, and I think everyone was there for him. He got such big cheers. He was super funny, so I'm really glad that we saw him, and everyone was like cheering Roy Kent, like singing the song if you're a Ted Lasso fan.
The thing I enjoy.
So that was cool. And then the last comedian was Dylan Moran, who I had never heard of before, but who I didn't think was particularly funny, especially given he was the headliner. And at this point, it's like, you know, 9:40 and it's freezing cold and it starts raining again. And I wasn't feeling great. And I was like, I'm very ready to go home. But overall, it was like a nice way to wrap up the weekend. But we got back super late, which is why I didn't wrap up this vlog then. So then today, I have been editing all morning and then just been a bit kind of in my feels, a bit lethargic. I'm not feeling 100%. So it's been not my most productive day ever, and now it's like nearly 4. I really need to wrap up this vlog so that I can get it out of my life, but also so I can start reading my next book, which will be a new reading vlog. So I also want to wrap this one up. So let me talk to you about what I was reading during that time. So I finished Secretly Yours on Thursday after the last clip. I'm still a little bit on the fence about what I think of this book overall. I originally rated it 4 stars and then I dropped it to 3.5, but I think part of the reason I did that is because after I rate something, I then go and read particularly the bad reviews to see if I missed anything in my own review. And then I dropped it to 3.5. I don't know if that's fair, but it's somewhere for me between 3.5 and 4 stars, and I maybe need to sit with it a little bit more. But basically, I've said everything I need to say about this book. I think it wraps up in the way that you would kind of expect. It keeps on the same sort of track as before, so I don't really have anything else to say about it. But if you enjoy steam on another level, I would recommend Tessa Bailey. So that's the first one. I also forgot to mention in the last clip that I was listening to the audiobook of The Stand-In by Lily Chu. I started listening to A Streetcar Named Desire because that had a pink cover, the version that I have for free on Audible, which is free for anyone. But it's a recording of the stage play and it does not translate well at all. Like, so much of it is just them moving around without speaking. And I know the play, so I probably could have stuck with it because I studied it at school. But I was like, no, I'm not willing to spend my time on this, even though it's only 2 hours and it would be a really easy tick for a book. I would rather not finish the book in this vlog and listen to something I actually want to listen to. So I went for the stand-in because it is a half pink cover. I know that it's half blue, but it was the best next option that I had. This is also free on Audible, so you can download this if you want to. This is about Gracie, and she is struggling a bit in life. She's being sexually harassed at her job, but she really needs the money because she is paying for her mum, who has Alzheimer's, to be living in a assisted care facility. So she really needs the money, so she doesn't feel she can leave her job. Then she gets caught out by some paparazzi. She has no idea why, but some pictures are taken of her on a day when she is pretending to be sick. And her boss is like, well, this is clearly you. And she's like, oh, no. The paparazzi thought that she was this celebrity Fong Li, so they were not actually taking pictures of Gracie as Gracie. But her boss is like, no, it was definitely pictures of you. I know it was you. That's your bag. I'm gonna fire you. He doesn't like her anyway because ultimately she rejects his advances. So that's it. She loses her job, and Fong Li has approached her in the meantime of these pictures going live to offer her $100,000 to pretend to be her for 2 months so that Gracie can go out and do all of her public events and stuff so that Fong Li can focus on preparing for a play that she's doing. Gracie was not going to accept, but obviously now she's lost her job. She needs the money for her mum. She's trying to get her into a better care home. So she agrees to do it. And I don't really know how far in I am for this, maybe a third right now. And it's basically just Gracie learning how to be Fong Li and falling in love with Sam, who is the co-star in a lot of Fong Li's movies. They're really close, really good friends. They hang out a lot. And so Sam and Fong Li's assistant are the two people that are trying to help Gracie convincingly be Fong Li. So it's a kind of Princess and the Pauper retelling. Princess and the Pauper is one of my favorite stories. One of my favorite books ever is The Princess and the Pauper by Kate O'Brien. It's a kid's book, but I love it and I've read it so many times. So I was really interested to read this. I'm enjoying it roughly so far. I'm not sure I would recommend listening to this on audio. Philippa Sue is the audiobook narrator, who is Eliza in Hamilton, so I thought I would love it, but I actually don't really like her voice on audio. I am so sensitive to audiobook narrators, and I'm not really enjoying her voice. I don't hate it, but I struggle with American audiobook narrators, which is so weird because I watch so much American television. But I am struggling a bit with it, and I don't know whether I should just stop listening to it and switch to physical, but then, I'm a third of the way through it now. So I don't know, we'll see. But this is one of my favourite covers of all time. It's drawn by Lily Kaufman, who is just an exceptional cover artist. And even if I don't like the book, as I'm kind of going through it now, I'm like, I don't think that this is a book I would choose to keep, but I don't know if I could ever get rid of this cover. I hate it when I'm like that, but it's so beautiful, So yeah, I'm probably about a third of the way through that. And then the other book that I have read in this time is Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I read this on Kindle. I started it on Friday on the train down and I finished it Saturday night. This is the sequel to the first book, which is called When in Rome. So it's a small town romance, and this one is following Annie, who is the sister of Noah from the first book. Annie is the sweet angel. She's the baby sister of the four of them. She's the one that everyone calls Angel Annie. She is a virgin. She is deemed as being super sweet. And she's really been sort of put into this box and finds it really hard to break out of it. So it stops her from being able to meet people and to date. Also, this small town is so obsessed with everybody's business. She has a really, really terrible date at the beginning of the book. And so she's telling Amelia, who is the girl that we meet in the first one, who's moves to the town and falls in love with Annie's brother Noah. And Amelia decides to set Annie up on kind of fake dating, I guess, training with Will, who is her bodyguard, because Amelia is a celebrity. And she gets the sort of vibe that Will probably likes Annie and that they would maybe be good for each other. So she's like, hey, Will, you're a serial dater. Why don't you teach Annie how to date? And this basically turns into the two of them developing feelings for each other, and Will kind of figuring out that maybe he doesn't want to be a serial dater, and Annie figuring out that she doesn't want to be sweet angel Annie. And given that I don't actually normally like this sort of story, I don't like when books imply that people are really boring and need to change. I thought that this one was addressed pretty well. I don't think Sarah Adams is the best author ever, I have to say. I think that there is an element of refining that could be done in her stories because there's quite a lot of repetition in terms of the thought that the characters have. I like the way that she addressed this. I didn't get too annoyed at Annie wanting to change herself, because you could understand that she'd really been put into this box by other people and you sort of wanted her to break out of it a little bit, to be her kind of true self, particularly given that the reasons that she's like this are linked to the death of her parents. I loved Will. He's so adorable. And again, he's a serial dater, but he's worded in a way that he has so much baggage, you understand why he is. So yeah, I thought this was well handled. So I gave this like 4.5 stars. My only criticism, to be honest, I think I maybe would have even rated it higher, but my criticism of Sarah Adams is that they are closed door romances, and each to their own, right? I often think about writing books myself, and I think I would probably write closed door romances because I would feel weird about my parents reading them. But my issue with closed door romances, when we have books like Tessa Bailey's books, and Steam is so in, you know, like Abby Hazelwood, where you get these in-depth analysis of sex scenes. When a book doesn't have that, but so much of the book is focused on leading up to this steamy moment, it then falls down. Like, I don't mind if a book is a closed door romance if it's more about the couple getting together rather than it being focused around sex. This book is focused around sex, trust me. And so you get to the steamy scene and then it's basically like, and so-and-so showed so-and-so a good time kind of thing. And you're like, we have been working up to so much like pressure and fire and absolute steaminess, and then it's just like, and they had a rocking good time. So that's why, unfortunately, I don't think I could ever rate a Sarah Adams 5-star, because I just think that that element doesn't work well. I'd almost rather not have so much of it be focused on steam if we're then not going to get that like pivotal steamy scene, you know. But yeah, I did really enjoy it, and I would definitely read the other books in this series. The next one is going to follow James and Maddie. So Maddie is another one of Annie's sisters. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with that one. And these books seem to come out in pretty quick succession, so I'm hoping that we'll get it early next year. But that's it. That's everything I read. So I didn't read as many pink books as I would like to, but like realistically, I read, what, 4.5 pink books, which I think is pretty good going. So, you know, I really shouldn't knock myself. When I was saying to Stuart, like, oh, I wish I'd read more pink books, and he was like, you've read so much this week, because I read it like a couple of arcs and stuff, which were like at the beginning of the week. So, you know, it actually has been a very good reading week. But I'm ready to wrap this vlog up, because the next vlog that I'm going to be doing is a really fun one and is quite time crunchy. So I really need to get on with that. Oh, one thing I do want to do is show you the planner kit that I'm planning to use for this week. Isn't it just perfect? It's so perfect. It's like party themed and Barbie. I'm so glad I saved it, because there were definitely weeks where, well, years, I've had it for a couple of years. There were definitely years where I thought I was going to use that kit and I didn't, but I'm so glad that I saved it, because it was just perfect because I saw Barbie. So yeah, so happy with that. Anyway, thank you so much for spending my birthday with me. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would really appreciate a like. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe. In the description, I will have links to my Goodreads and my Instagram if you want to check out any more content from me. But otherwise, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.